What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of This Ain't Your Ordinary Podcast. It's your girl, your host, your bud, your sister, your auntie, Rissa G. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. Um, Funny enough, the best time for me to record these are during the week. And I have a new job, so I'm waking up at 4:30 a.m. Every day. So it's been a long day. Um, I went to the gym, guys. Like I went to the gym before I recorded this. Like I'm killing it. I worked the full shift. And people do this on the regular. I don't know how, man. Shout out to y'all. I'm fighting for my life. But how y'all doing? Are y'all staying hydrated? Um, Also, how y'all doing? Come on, that's okay. Talk to me. Talk to me. Last time we spoke, it was a bit tense. Um, and then we found out that Trump won. I didn't even really realize that he won until I did. It was just much later on. How are y'all doing? Everyone's okay? Um, Democracy won again? Question mark? I'm not trying to start nothing. I mean, it's a good thing you guys voted though. I'm not trying to be sassy. I'm just being frank. I'm just being frank, okay? So, yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. You guys take care of yourself, be healthy. Um, Everything's gonna be okay. Okay. Anywho, so yeah, this problem, I might switch it up a little bit. I'm a sports fan, and I've been trying to get sports into the pod in a variety of ways. I've considered getting another podcast. Like, yes, like believe it or not, I'm doing a variety of different things or just posting videos on my social. But I said, why not? Like, I have enough content for a pod episode. This is in fact my pod, and I do in fact talk about literally everything. So why not talk about sports and dedicate an entire episode to sports? So welcome in to probably my first episode ever solely dedicated to sports. I'm a football fan and a basketball fan, but I think I'm mostly going to talk about basketball on this pod. We'll see how it goes, whatever. It's been a while. If you guys have been following me for as long as you've been following me, it's been a while since we've done segments, but we're going to try to get back to segments. So, first segment, let me get this off my chest. I gotta talk about Bronny. I've had a lot of thoughts about Bronny behind closed doors, in text messages, voice notes. I gotta talk about Bronny. This experiment was a mistake. Like flatly, like it was a mistake. LeBron James from the start has almost at every step of the way messed up when it came to Bronny. You are LeBron James. You came into this league at 17 years old. You were the biggest star to ever enter the NBA. You had I think the biggest hype ever, I think to this day. And you lived up to it, in fairness to you. Like, I think he's the greatest player of all time. Maybe that's another episode for another day. And you are great at many things, and this is not a knock on you as a father. I cannot speak to that. And that's not even my place to speak to that. Like, I don't know you. But publicly, when it comes to basketball and your son, you have failed him. You have failed him. So for those of you who don't know, so Bronny, what's up? Good, above average, good high school prospect. He went to USC. Is it USC? I think it's USC. For college, he played 1 year. Let me give y'all, but before I even give y'all stats, right? So he was good to average, they thought he would make it to the NBA eventually. And then before the summer before he went to college, I think he had he had cardiac arrest, right? And he made a full recovery, thank God. He's okay, but obviously the cardiac arrest that slowed him down. Like, he had to catch back up to the levels that he was playing at before, so on and so forth. And I don't want to say he hasn't been the same since. I just don't know if he's given himself a chance, like a true chance to get back to where he was at. I think, once he realized he was fully healthy and he could just play at 100, he's tried to play like maybe he played before, and maybe he's just not as good as he once was, and also maybe he just wasn't that good. And I feel like this is a case of when nepotism just doesn't work. I personally don't believe in nepotism. I don't care what other people do. Like, if that's the game we play, like, that's a rabbit hole we can all go down. Like, well, if they did it, well, if the white folks did it, then we no, like, it just doesn't make sense. And I think nepotism especially in fields where skill is necessary doesn't make sense. If you're a football player, why would I come and say, yo, my brother is a great player, he needs to be on our team, put him on the team, and the brother's a terrible player? Nepotism should not and does not carry you in that type of way. It just simply doesn't. Now, you do have exceptions, like Giannis's brother, Giannis Antetokounmpo. We'll talk about him a little bit later, but his brother, I don't want to mispronounce his name, who's on his team, who's terrible. But for the most part in sports, it's pretty, like, you just shouldn't do it. Like, it happens, but you shouldn't do it. It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't add to winning, right? So here so Bronny played only one season in college. I think that's a mistake. Off rip, that's a mistake. He played 25 games. I'm reading you his stats. Okay, he averaged. I'm gonna round up on everything. He averaged 5 points. He played 25 games. He averaged 5 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 37% field goal, 37% like from 2, and then 27% shooting from the 3, and then a 68% free throw shooting. Like, and again, like, don't get me wrong, he was drafted in the second round. Like, second round players aren't the biggest things, like, but still, like, this is not good. This is not good. You're at this point in the journey, you're not a good player. And I think this is the problem. LeBron was tweeting when Bronny was in high school, talking about my son could play better than some of these dudes in the league. And excuse me? Your son, who's like 16 at the time, can play better than these grown men who've worked their way into this league and who can cross up and kill and annihilate Bronny easily, as they have done? Like, come on, bro. So I feel like LeBron just dropped the ball. He rushed this. He kept pushing it, and then you will see. I think maybe someone talked to him, maybe Savannah, maybe Bronny. I don't know. Like, bro, you gotta chill. Because then LeBron started tweeting, like, come on, like, just let him be a kid. He's just a kid. Y'all putting all this pressure. You put the pressure on him. It was you. Not anybody else. It was you. So now Bronny, like, I can't look at him as a fragile player, because that's not how he looks at himself. He had, cardiac arrest, and he recovered. So I'm looking at him as a recovered player in the NBA. He's trash. He's hot trash. He should not have only played 1 year of college basketball. He needed 3 years. He needed a minimum of 3 years. Maybe his program he was in didn't develop him enough, didn't play him enough. I don't know the reason. I don't have his minutes per game, but I don't know the reason. But he's just not good. Period. Not good enough. He's not an NBA player. He's simply not. And I get it, like, LeBron, I'll talk about LeBron soon, like LeBron more in depth in a bit, but like, LeBron's definitely retiring next year or the year after. He said that, and I've been saying, like, LeBron is about symbolism and about deep, meaningful things, especially when it comes to basketball. Next season is year 23. The season after is year 24. He's not, maybe season 25, but I don't think so. I think he's gonna retire in the year that's his number, 23, or in Kobe's year. Kobe's number, 24. Like, I don't think he's playing past that. So I guess it had to be this year, but it didn't. You're playing at least one more year. Give Bronny a chance. Now, everyone's like, oh, it's okay. Just let Bronny play like a couple of games and then send him to the G League. Okay. So you wasted a pick to send him to the G League, whatever. Like Bronny got this great contract that he like didn't deserve. Like most players drafted in his position don't get that type of money, but whatever. Like I'm gonna just leave that. I'm gonna leave his money alone. So whatever. So he's gonna go play in the G League. Then reports come out saying, hold on, he's actually not going to be a full-time G League. For those of you who don't follow basketball, is basically like your development league associated with the NBA. Like you make it to the NBA, but maybe you're not good enough, or you're trying to make it to the NBA and you're just not good enough. You play through the G League. And sometimes teams will pick up players from the G League. Sometimes teams will send players to the G League to work on some stuff. Then you come back to the team, stuff like that, right? So, yeah, okay. So instead of doing right, instead of just staying in college for at least another year, maybe two, you jump the gun, make it to the NBA simply because your dad is LeBron James and he's on the Lakers, and the Lakers want to make him happy. And now, okay, all right, you're gonna play in the G League. Reports coming out that he's gonna be a part-time G League player, and somehow in the story, they start Brian Windhorst is reporting that ESPN, a reporter, saying that it has to do with them flying commercial. Like Brownie talking about, I can't follow y'all broke boys, huh? Like it's just too much. You can't be this bad and act privileged. Like you are literally acting like LeBron James' son. Come on, bro. I'm sorry. It's too much for me. I'm overwhelmed. Come on, bro. Be for real. Like, I think you can develop into an average to good player in the NBA, maybe, but like you need time. You need a chance. Like you need to allow your body to catch up. Or maybe, unfortunately, it's possible your body may never get back to what it was before your cardiac arrest. That is a possibility, and it is sad. It is tragic. Truly. Having dreams of being great, and maybe you could have achieved them, maybe you could have, but we will never know. But you cannot be a part-time G League player and the other part of the time you're gonna be flying private with your daddy and riding the bench. Bro, this whole situation, come on, bro, just handled poorly. And like, it makes you think about the tweet. Is your son better than some of these guys playing in the NBA? He's not. He's literally not. So I don't know. Like, just those are my thoughts. It just irritates me, the whole entire situation. Like, I just think it's a waste of a draft pick. I think LeBron needs to be focused on, the end of his career. What does the end of your career look like? Is it just you playing great? You racking up, not like he's playing great this year. Don't get me wrong. Like, probably his best season in a few years, like overall, like he's healthy, all of those things are great, but like, bro, you focus on your son. Can you make it to a conference finals, please? Could you not like either lose in the first round or like not make the playoffs? Can you do something? I'm sorry, like I would love for LeBron. Let's just move on to LeBron, right? So I've already said my piece about Bronny, whatever. Y'all can hate me, love me, I don't know, but like those are just my thoughts. Like I think if you're gonna be an NBA player, I think you should commit to it. Just commit to it. Like, you're not here to just hang out with your dad. Anyway, so now for LeBron, I think he has 1 to 2 years left. I'm really trying to see what he's going to do. I would love for LeBron to win at least one more ring. I don't think I would have preferred for him to get to ring number 6. I just don't think it's going to happen. Because if he has 1 to 2 seasons left, he's not about to win back-to-back rings. He's just not. He's just not good enough. AD is playing great, the best he's played in years. I've been said to trade AD. I would still trade him. You give me in this 2024, and let's say 5 years, you've given me 1 great season, and let's count this as the beginning of 2. Because this is year 6, I believe, for him in LA, I think. Year 5 or year 6. Like, I did not trade away so many assets for you to give me 1 great year. LeBron was supposed to have transitioned and become the second best player on the team. and you're playing like hot trash, even when you're healthy for a season. So either it's you're playing great, but you're injured the whole time, or you're not injured, but you're not playing great consistently. So last year, that was the what is it, the tail of the tapes, whatever, right? Like you're just not playing good enough. Anthony Davis has the ability to be the best player in the league, and we've been saying that for years, but he just doesn't live up to that potential. Anyway, I don't know if LeBron's gonna win anymore. Um, he's definitely retiring the next season or two. He's had an amazing career. I can't. I don't know, bro. It's just I don't know what he got going on because I can't believe he's still this athletic. He's about to turn 40 in like a month, like 6 weeks. He's gonna turn 40 years old. Like, and I'm not even coming for like your average 40-year-old. But how many 40-year-old athletes do you know? Like Tom Brady just broke every idea of normalcy when it comes to your age in sports, but like LeBron is more athletic than Tom Brady even was. You know what I'm saying? So it's insane what he's doing at his age. It's unbelievable to watch, honestly. And I don't know at this point, how do you argue against a career like his? Yeah, he didn't win the most rings. Bill Russell did, right? Like, not Michael Jordan, believe it or not. Bill Russell won 11 rings, right? So he didn't win the most rings. He didn't win the most MVPs. Kareem and Michael did. But from top to bottom, he, like Nick Wright, I'm taking this from him, but he's the greatest youngest player and he's the greatest oldest player. So I don't know how you argue he's not the greatest player to ever play the game of basketball. I don't know how you argue it. He did more with less. I like, if we compare year by years, I'll dedicate the pod to that. Like, if we compare year by years, LeBron in what, year 3 carries a team no one expected to do anything to the finals. Yeah, he got swept, but he was like 21, 22 when Michael Jordan was 22. Was he in the league? Maybe that was his first year in the league. Michael Jordan, for the first portion of his career without Scottie Pippen and Phil Jackson, was just a great scorer. Like, a great scorer, but a flame out in the playoffs. So, I don't want to rehash all of that. This is not what this pod is dedicated to, but like, we can talk about it on a different pod. Like, I don't, from top to bottom, I don't know. Yeah, like, look, one of the ring, I hold a couple of rings against LeBron. I feel like he could have won in 20, the first time Golden State won. I feel like I wanted more from him. I did. I feel like I needed him to do more. I think that would have been a great ring for him. And then I wish he would have won one game in, I think, 2018 finals, when he scored, like, I think that's the best game of his career, maybe 51 points in a loss, in that overtime game 1 loss to the Warriors. Like that, I really wish he had gotten that game. Maybe they pull off an upset, maybe, but they got swept. So he's had an amazing career, man. But he needs to focus on wrapping this up with a bow. Like, he talks about, LeBron has said he doesn't want to play until the wheels fall off because he doesn't want to disrespect the game. And I think the same thing should hold true. Like, I can't even imagine, because I don't have kids, so I can't imagine the significance of playing this sport for so long that your son is old enough to play alongside you. Amazing accomplishment. And also, I think that's unfair to your team and to the sport for that to not be your priority. That you are making your way out, so you're just focused on lolly dee lolly da. Nah, bro. The game still got to be played. So, anyway, those are my thoughts on that. Next segment, hear me out. I'm just on fire right now. Like, this is me on fire. I'm just coming for everybody. I'm just giving y'all my opinions. Ain't nothing more than that. So for this one, basketball fans, I don't know. Hear me out though. Giannis Antetokounmpo is highly overrated. Everything's gonna be okay. Giannis is overrated as hell, bro. Like, I've been feeling this way for years, years and years, but then he won his ring in 2021. He was like, all right, I guess he's good. I think I was struggling as a LeBron fan to see like the mantle, going from LeBron to Giannis, and it was Giannis's lead for a year or two, but he is like so undercover with how overrated but I guess that's what overrated is, right? Like, we do not hold that man accountable at all. What do you mean by that? All right, so right now, this dude team, right now, 2024-25 season, their record is 5-9. He's fully healthy. He's fully healthy. And they're trash right now. And he's complaining. He's cursing out teammates on camera. He's out here being childish against his competitors, like doing stuff with them that he does with his kids. Like, you're a grown man in a competitive sport. And you're losing. The hell you playing games for? Be angry. Show some fire. Like, you're barely beating bad teams. Like, his numbers are great. Like 32 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 60% shooting from the field. Like, his individual numbers are great. They're always great. But his team suffers because he's not. He is a really, really good player. And maybe I'm holding him to too high of a standard, but he has 2 MVPs and a Defensive Player of the Year, a ring, and a Finals MVP. So I think I'm holding him to the standard of greatness when I say I think he's pretty overrated. You have great statistics, but when it matters the most, where the hell are you, bro? You're the only healthy superstar in recent years who's in their prime to have a team start off this bad. And don't get me started on Doc Rivers. I'm gonna leave Doc Rivers alone for right now. Bump Doc. Like, it doesn't matter what coach you have, bro. Greatness is greatness. I'm reading different sports lists ranking Giannis as top 50 all time. Top 50 all time? What have you done to be top 50 all time in the NBA? What the hell have you done? He's in season 11. And I want to be clear, I'm not a hater. It's funny because I feel like I'm one of the most objective people I know. And people may disagree, but I feel like I like facts. I base my opinions most times on facts and eye tests, especially when it comes to sports. When it comes to sports, that's part of my recipe. I know what I'm seeing. I know what I'm comparing it to what I've seen. I look at highlights of not 80s and 90s, but I've watched basketball for like almost 20 years now. So I know greatness when I see it. You're not that great. You're not top 50, bro. You're just not. You're just not. And I'm not a hater. I'm just being objective. That was my point. Like, I'm just being objective. I'm just giving you facts, statistics, and tell me what you have seen. Because what you have seen does not align with some of the greatest players to ever touch the court. He's in year 11. He has 1 ring in year 11, and that's great, right? Because some players, like, I think LeBron, it took him till year 9, or I think it was year 9. I think KD was like year 9, 8, 9-ish. It takes players sometimes a while, right? But you have 1 ring. And go look this up for yourself. But in 8 years of being in the playoffs, he's had 2 great playoff runs. 2. In 8 years. Let's do quick math. 2 over 8 equals 1 over 4, right? That equals 25%. So in 25% of your playoff runs, you've only had out of all of your playoff runs, you've only had 25% that were great, that aligned with your individual greatness. Only 25%? 1 out of 4 years? I'm sorry. How are you the greatest player of this generation, or one of the greatest players of this generation, You only have a great playoff run once every 4 years. Excuse me? I'm just having a hard time wrapping my head around it. You're not the great defensive player they make. You're not. You're a help side defensive player at best. You're just a more athletic Rudy Gobert. Honest to God. You have not developed and worked on your skills in 11 years. You were a bad shooter. You started off as a small forward and you never fixed your shot. So now you move to the power forward position. We're talking about Ben Simmons. Giannis and Ben Simmons do the same thing. You have not grown your game enough so that teams cannot exploit your weakness. That's why every time you see Miami has your number, bro. Why? Because they don't let you dunk. James Harden, you try to play with James Harden. James Harden said, go play with your mama, don't play with me. It's real easy to dunk. It don't take much skill to dunk. That's what James Harden said. And it's true. It is true. Phoenix gave away that final. I cannot believe that they lost. Because it's not like your game is A, B, and C. You gotta be in the paint. You gotta dunk. You'll have an occasional night where you're hitting threes. Once in the blue moon, but your game is in the paint. If we shut off the paint, you have no game. 2 out of 8 years, you've had a great playoff run, bro. 2 out of 8. And I don't want to hear, I don't care who you have around you, bro. Make something happen. Make something happen. The East is too weak. All these years, I'm sorry to bring it back to LeBron, but he is the greatest player that I've ever seen, the greatest player of this generation. And all these years, the critique has been, the East is so weak. The West has everybody. The East is so weak. All this. The East been weak. If the East is so weak, why are all of these players not doing as great as they should? They're not living up to their standard. The East is vulnerable. You're not if the playoffs start today, you would not be in the playoffs. And you're one of the greatest players of this generation. You've had great teams. You have had great teams. And y'all trade away Drew Holiday. And now he went and got another championship with Boston. You made your competitor stronger. Your second guy, his knees have given up. So his career is pretty much done. You guys haven't rebuilt. You fire Giannis, allow them, because you have power in the organization, you allow them to fire Adrian Griffin, your coach from last year, who I can't remember his record, but I think it was like 34-14 or something. You had a great record. You let him get fired, and then you hired, of all people, Doc Rivers. Man, Doc Rivers? For those of you who don't know, I don't know, Google Doc Rivers. I don't know. He's an all right coach. I'm sorry. I don't. He has a ring. He's been to finals, but I don't he's just not a great coach. He's just not. But regardless of all that, I'm just waiting for Giannis to put the team on his back and go get them some wins. You're scoring all these points, but your team is still losing. I'm just confused. Are you one of those players who needs a perfect situation? And listen, there are players like that. There are players like that. Steph Curry, player like that. He just is. If you look at most of his career, he's had a great team almost every year. Almost every year. The years he didn't, he carried his team as far as he could go. But some players need a great team around them to do something. Are you one of those players? But I'm supposed to believe you're the one of the great. I mean, Steph has too long of a resume, has had too many big games for me to knock him. I'm obviously not the biggest Steph fan, but I gotta respect his greatness. He's a legendary player. I'll give him top 10, top 15 all time for sure. Right? But Giannis is not even in that conversation. Can't even sniff it. They were trying to say Giannis might be have a greater career than KD. How can you say that? How? And yes, I know Giannis beat KD in the head. Bro, Giannis had a great team. And KD was doing what I want Giannis to do, carrying his team on his back. Both of his co-stars were injured. Toes on the line. That toes on the line, he wins a series. Right? Or win a game that ends up winning the series. Anyway, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I like at this point. What I think Giannis should do is just develop a more skillful game. I'm not saying you have to shoot, but if you're gonna be a power forward, be a power forward. Work on your inside, your mid-range jump shot. Just practice that. I would not even focus on practicing threes. I'm sure he practices threes. Don't practice threes. Don't practice threes. Work on your, like, he I think the one of these other games shot a mid-range to win a game and missed. I'm letting Giannis shoot that shot 10 times out of 10. Because 9 times out of 10, he'll miss that shot. Probably 9.9 times out of 10. Right? You're not a threat if you can't do the one thing you're good at. That's not a great player. I'm sorry. That's not a great player. You need to be like, develop more skills. Work on your handles. Work on your post-up game, bro. Work on your footwork. Work on the fundamentals. There's so much more you can add to your arsenal so that even if you have me at the free throw line and you refuse to let me just waltz my way into the paint, that's okay. I'm going to work for it. Like, you just got to do better. I'm sorry, because is it possible Giannis never wins a ring again? Is it possible? He's in year 11. He hasn't been in the championship in 3 going on 4 years. He hasn't been in the conference finals, I think, since that same year, I think, in 2021. Let me look that up real quick. Last time Giannis was in a conference. Yeah. 2021. So he's been to the conference finals twice in his career. And the best 2 out of 8 great playoff runs. And one of those 2, he won a ring. But he hasn't been to the conference finals in 3 going on 4 years. So it's like, at this point, Joker has hit his prime. I don't even know what to do with Joker. But, like, are the Celtics about to create a dynasty in your conference? Like, are you about to, like, because, I mean, the Celtics look like they might just dominate for the next 5 years. And they may not win a ring every year, but they look like they found something special. And as long as most of those players are healthy, I don't see why they wouldn't just run it back every year, make it to the finals, and win a couple more rings. So was Giannis a one-hit wonder? I'm just saying, this is y'all this is y'all king? This is y'all top 50 greatest of all time? Come on, man. Be for real. There are too many great players to have played this game. Excuse me. A little congested. But there's too many great players who have played this game to say that Giannis is a top 50, top 75 player of all time. He's not. He's good. He's really good. And he's been great. He's been great, but he's not great. He's had great seasons. He's had great moments, but he's not great. There's not a lot of greatness going on in the NBA right now. And that's why, and this is, I'm just going on a rant, but that's why I think the NBA hasn't been that intriguing. It's like, everyone's pretty good. Everyone's decent. but like we haven't seen consistent measure of greatness that I was spoiled. I feel like I lived through the best era of basketball. I had Kobe at the very end of his prime. I had Shaq in his old years. I had LeBron for pretty much the entirety of his career. I had Dwayne Wade from like, half of his prime to the very end. Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. I've seen so many rivalries. I remember the Memphis Grizzlies, and Zach Rudolph and all Kevin Garnett, the ball. Like I've seen so many amazing. Dwight Howard, who is a top 75 player. I don't care what y'all say. That man was great. Okay, that man carried the team on his back, right? So like, just so many different, teams that were so great, and the NBA felt so alive and vibrant, and greatness was spread throughout, like consistent levels of greatness, not just great moments or good players having great moments. I don't know if there's a lot of greatness in the NBA right now. I don't know. And yeah, there's a lot of spectacular and a lot of 360. There's just not consistent greatness. And I think, I'm honest to God, watch basketball less and less every single year because it's kind of boring. It's boring. There's no more intrigue. I remember whenever the Boston Celtics would play Miami in the playoffs, it would be such hate and disdain. And it's from the regular season and it's just boiling up to the playoffs. And it's like, wow, it's like watching a movie. You gotta get popcorn. And like nowadays it's like, yeah, it's like a historic rivalry, but like, so I don't know. Like some of these players are really good. Oh my God. And they're great in moments for sure. Like even Luka, I love Dallas. I really want Dallas to win a ring. I want Kyrie's career to be redeemed. I want all of the people who were hating on him to, this to be in their face. I know he doesn't think like that, but I'm thinking like that. I love that guy. I think he's great. And I want them to win a ring. But even Luka, sometimes like Luka is amazingly talented, but even him, like, I'm like, come on, bro. I'm watching you give up game-winning plays. You're not putting in enough work on your conditioning. Every year we're having the same conversations. Like, it almost feels like the NBA has gotten lazy. And I think that's why NFL is taking over the NBA. I watch NFL games every week. I don't know the last time I sat through an NBA game and watched it from beginning to end. I cannot tell you when. I just simply cannot do it. I'm bored. I am bored. There's no dominant player in the league. There is none. There simply is none. There's no, like narratives or intrigue. There isn't. You know what I'm saying? So this is just a random rant, but like that's what the NBA has become, unfortunately. Like there's just, it's not like Anthony Edwards, like, oh my God, he's like, he's a really good player. He's a tremendous player. I don't use tremendous often, but he's athletic, but like, what is he great at? I guess athleticism. Like, what does he do that's great? That's 10 out of 10. And he's not a dominant player. Like, I remember KD. Like, like I said, I feel like I lived in the best era of basketball, the most skilled, the most amazing era of basketball. And now I think I was spoiled, and now I feel like I'm bored. I am. So that's my random rant to wrap up. Like, I don't know, NBA is not in a good shape. It's just not. And I don't know how you fix that. Because when Steph, KD, and LeBron retires, I have no idea what the NBA is going to do. I have no idea. It's going to be boring as hell. Because Joker had the opportunity to take over the league. And like, he's great. But it's like, I feel like I have to hold the word great hostage because there's no dominant player in the league. When I say dominant, I remember LeBron, some MVP seasons, bro. LeBron was going crazy. Like, every game, dominating the whole game from beginning to end on both sides of the floor. Like, he was a dominant player. I remember Steph Curry in his heyday. I mean, Steph Curry is still playing. He's not as great as he once was, but he still has his great moments, and the team is doing great. But Steph Curry in his heyday, oh my gosh, like, I was afraid that as soon as that man hit past half court, boom, 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 Splash Brothers, like, KD just dropping 30, 35, James Harden, how can I, like, come, like, like, the game felt like there were more dominant players throughout the league. Nowadays, I feel like I can't look at one, like, there are great teams. Boston is a great team. Tatum, I have never felt like Tatum is a consistently great player. He's a really good player who has great moments sometimes. And then sometimes he doesn't. He just flatlines. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the NBA for you today. Like, there's not a lot of dominance. There's not a lot of consistent greatness. It's just a lot of good players who have great moments. And there are not a lot, but a few great teams. It's boring as hell. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my rant. And I'm wrapping up, I promise. But like, it just makes me sad. Like, because basketball. Like, I feel like I know basketball so well, I can coach it. I feel like I've watched enough and I've played a little bit enough. To coach it and to just be able to see things that most fans may not be able to see. But I do think it makes me sad because it like, I feel old when I say, like, I lived through the best era of basketball, and I love basketball, and I've always had such a great profound love for basketball. Like, when the girls would be dancing in elementary school, like, I would be with the boys playing basketball in middle school during every lunch, every gym period, every moment I had. Like, I would be playing basketball, emulating the guys I was seeing in the NBA. In high school, I had a little stint on the basketball team, but like, I have such a deep bond and love with basketball, and I think it does bring me some sadness that the NBA just simply is not what it used to be. And I'm sure every generation has said that, but it just doesn't. Like, I am loving the WNBA. Let me say that right now. Like, the WNBA is bringing. I am a fan. For a birthday gift, I went to the game 1 of the Liberty versus Lynx game, and it was a great game. And we left before it got so close. I was watching it on the train, man. Like, that game was close. I was on the edge of my seat, like, oh my god, I can't believe I missed this. But man, I'm grown now. I gotta go to work the next day. I can't be out late anymore. But like, the WNBA has such great fire, great narratives. My God, the narratives. Listen, be on Twitter and TikTok for them narratives, okay? It's messy. Like, it's WNBA is about to take off, man. Like, I love it. Asia Wilson, one of my favorite players. I love the Aces. I love just the growing culture of the WNBA. It has its woes, and maybe I'll dedicate a pod to talk about that. I love Angel Reese. I love everything she's bringing, all her fire, all her razzle dazzle. I'm loving it. And I think the WNBA is taking off, and I'm, really becoming a fan in a time where the NBA is just lacking greatly. Like, my basketball heart has been craving great basketball with like intrigue and narrative, and I think the WNBA provides that. So I would say go check it out. Whatever your thoughts are, whatever your assumptions are, just put them to the side and just go check out the game. Like, it's some great basketball. So yeah, I think that's been filling the gap because the NBA is just not it anymore. It simply is not, and I'm telling you, it's only going to get worse. Like, it's going to get worse until you get, you hopefully get more dominant players in the league, or some of these players who are in the league take off and go on a stretch. I need me a 5-year stretch of 2 to 3 MVPs, 2 to 3 rings. That to me is dominance. I have not seen that since LeBron and Steph. Thought it would be Giannis, it wasn't. Thought it would be Joker, kind of was, but not really. He got the MVPs. but he only has one ring, right? So yeah, that's my basketball rant, man. That went a lot of places I didn't think it would go. But yeah, um, a little under weather, guys. But it's been fun. It's been a great episode. I love sports, man. I could talk basketball all day. I could go on and on and on and on and on. I'm really blessed and fortunate that I had the opportunity to do this. I really have been wanting to talk basketball for so long on the pod. Like, I need to get it out my system. And I hope you guys enjoyed it, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as always. I will definitely keep the topics coming. I'm trying to be more regular. I have a much better schedule now. Bro, when I tell you I worked a whole shift, went to the gym, did a whole workout, took my time, and came back, chilled in my car, and then set up and then did a whole pod. Like, that's a long day, but like, I'm like, it's my schedule is beautiful now. I'm really grateful for the opportunities like God has given me, the doors he's opened. So I'm definitely going to be more consistent with pods. Please feel free to DM me, comment, whatever, send me topics. um I'm not the most up to date with pop culture, but I try. At some point, I guess I'll talk about Diddy. I don't know. I don't know if I want. I don't even know if I want to go down that black hole. I honestly, I feel like it's been covered so much. But maybe I could talk about the church side of it, because there is a element of what Diddy got going on that's been going on in the church, and the church is like interweaved into this entire Diddy saga. Um, so maybe I'll talk about that. I don't know. Still covering Gaza, still wanting freedom for my brothers and sisters in America, my brothers and sisters in Palestine, Sudan, Congo, Lebanon, everywhere, Haiti, Puerto Rico, wherever there's oppression, wherever there's people who need to be liberated. I'm always hoping and praying for their liberation, our collective liberation. And yeah, man, I think that's it. You guys already know what to do. Make sure that you guys like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. The end video will say all of it. um Yo, another episode. I love y'all so much, man. This has been a really fun pod. Hope y'all don't come for me too much. These last two pods, it's different people groups, but I don't know. I feel like I'm offending everybody. But y'all know what we do in this pod. We talk about everything, and we're just having conversations here, man. you know. Anyway, y'all be good. Y'all stay hydrated. All right. Peace.